Okay, next part.
This is part trace, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, part 3.
Now it's starting to get real interesting. Okay, so in October 31st, 1977, we, our 35 eyewitnesses, plus the 5-member appeal committee who came to testify on our behalf, arrived early at the G. Kingdom Hall. We knew the newly appointed committee actually had orders to disfellowship us, but when they arrived and saw all the people with us, it forced them to hear testimony, which was something they really didn't want to do. Usually a decision in circumstances such as ours is arrived at the same day. Yeah, we knew that. But this committee decided to meet again in May of 1978. What is that, 7-8 months they make them wait? And they invited us and our eyewitnesses to evil to attend, inasmuch as all of us believed there would be no impartiality shown to us and that our testimony would be used against us. We chose not to be there to hear the decision. In May of 1978, we heard we had been disfellowshipped again for lying about what had happened back in previous years and for stirring up trouble by trying to explain why the 5 elders had not been disfellowshipped after our first disfellowshipping had been disallowed. Okay, then they have parentheses and it says, incidentally, this committee did not meet with the 5E elders. Interesting. We did not appeal the second disfellowshipping ruling because it was apparent that there would be no justice exercised in our behalf.
But I thought that the Holy Spirit was a champion for justice.
Yeah.
See, Jehovah's Witnesses, you need to wake up to the fact that your organization is not directed by the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit would make damn sure that justice is there.
Yes. It was after our second disfellowshipping in 1978 that our witness businessman friend...
He shows up again in the affidavit, doesn't he? Now this is where it really gets good, folks.
Yeah. Told us he had traveled to Watchtower headquarters to meet with Brother Miller, the head of the Service Department Committee. Once there, he retrieved a copy of his will and told Miller the Watchtower Society would not receive any money upon his death because of the way the severe problems our family had gone through were handled by the Watchtower organization. Interesting.
With emphasis. With emphasis.
Yes, with emphasis. However, he continued to send them large donations for the worldwide ministry work, which money was tax deductible, until 1981, because at that time both he and his wife left the religion. Incidentally, before our wealthy confidant removed himself from the Watchtower organization, each year in March from 1976 to 1980, after paying his personal taxes, he would share with us the canceled check which showed the amount of money he donated to the Watchtower the previous year. The amounts written on the checks varied, but we saw that they were always higher than $500,000. Ooh.
Let that sink in. $500,000 over.
They were always higher than $500,000.
Here you got one prominent businessman sending money to Watchtower. But you know what, folks? There's more.
But what I want to, emphasize is this is the same witness, the businessman that's sending them over $500,000 each year. This is the same one that called Grant Suter and said, I told you, if you ran a tight ship, I would support you financially. So who's in control?
Who's in control? This wealthy businessman.
Yeah.
One of many, I very much suspect.
Yeah. There's more.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Hey. Wait for it.
Also, every year for those 5 years, our friend showed us the canceled checks for money which he gave as gifts to each one of the 3 corporate officers of the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. The names on the canceled checks were Nathan Knorr, President, Frederick Franz, Vice President, and Grant Suter, Secretary Treasurer. The amounts varied depending on how much profit he generated in his business the previous year. We remember checks for the amount of $20,000 for Knorr, $14,000 for Franz, and $7,000 for Suter. So, witnesses, You think they live on, what, $50 a month and let the society take care of them also?
No.
No.
There you have it, Jehovah's Witnesses. These men of the governing body are being well supported by wealthy businessmen. See, there you have it. Who's in control? Where does the Holy Spirit fit into all of this? Because keep in mind, this businessman just wasn't making better than $500,000 a year donation to the worldwide work. He was paying these three men on top of that $500,000.
Personal checks.
Personal checks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who's in control?
To these men.
It's not the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't
a
to
wealthy
Watchtower.
businessman.
These checks were to the men themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, back to the letter. At least 10 members of the governing body have died since the time of our first disfellowshipping, including Knorr, Franz, and Suter, whose organizational policies we believe were the ones most responsible for the life-altering, unjust way we were treated. We may not know all the details of the matter, nor may we have done all things perfectly, but we are confident that the Supreme Judge will have all the facts correct and render a just decision. Respectfully submitted, brother and sister redacted, and then it's signed by a notary and stamped and dated on September 17th, 2008.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There you have it, Jehovah's Witnesses. I really hope that after reading this, that you can really just kind of sit back and contemplate a little bit. You know, one of the things that I always questioned as a ministerial servant, because I was working with the body of elders in a little bit closer relationship now, that I personally witnessed men, elders, manufacture lies. Kim and I tried to bring these to the forefront ourselves, even with the witnesses, even with another elder being a witness to this manufactured lies.
We had evidence too.
It just does not work, because this is what bothered me the most. How can the Holy Spirit appoint these men, and then these men turn out to be liars, and yet the Holy Spirit is powerless to remove them? In fact, for those that have watched our videos for quite some time, you'll know that my mother, who sent me back a shredded letter, knows that my mom is a very devout JW. But even this very devout JW has mentioned to me more than one time, it takes God's Holy Spirit to appoint an elder, but it takes an act of Congress to remove them. Do you see the hypocrisy in that comment? Do you see the conflict in that comment? Even my mother, who's a devout JW, is conflicted regarding the Holy Spirit. Jehovah's Witnesses, you need to wake up and realize that this organization cannot have God's Holy Spirit and allow men on the governing body to be paid off like they're being paid.
And I just want to mention, being a witness for almost my entire life, I know exactly what you're going to be saying to yourself. This is just a bitter couple that, had problems with elders, and now just, telling everybody, and, wrote an affidavit explaining this. But until you've been through something like this, you don't have a clue.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
no idea what it's like.
That's one thing about my mother. She's never really had to deal with lying elders, because she's a woman and she better know her place in the organization, in the congregation. You don't have the right to speak up.
Yeah.
See, that's how they can continue to fleece the flock, how they can continue to abuse the flock, because these men, unfortunately, in the rank and file, the normal, everyday Jehovah Witness conclusively believes that these men are appointed by God's Holy Spirit, when they're not.
And, for those who have never had problems with elders, it's so easy for you to say, oh, well, this is just, bitter couple, brother and sister redacted, or just a bitter old couple that, had some problems with the elders.
No, because even when I was a Jehovah's Witness Kim, we had problems with elders lying. We saw circuit overseers get paid vacations from wealthy brothers. One circuit overseer we know of had his vacation paid to China from a prominent wealthy businessman within our own congregation. A 2-week vacation. Yeah.
And then green handshakes, and then, this brother does wrongdoing, gets a little touchy-feely with me in the back room, and I'm the one that's at fault.
And you're the one that's at fault.
And he's kept in his position. And I wasn't the only sister, so it wasn't just my word against his word. There was several sisters complaining about this brother, but nothing was done.
Nothing was done, because here again, you have this built-in facade that these men are appointed by Holy Spirit. But hey, test my words out. If you're a brother that wants to get appointed and you've got problems with elders, quit your job. Find a part-time job. Become a regular pioneer, and I guarantee you, within a year, you'll be appointed a servant. I guarantee it. That's how the system works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And if you have problems to where elders are coming after you, all you have to do is just take them on a trip, paint their car, whatever business you have, give them some kind of favor, and it's all swept under the carpet.
You'll get exactly what you want, because that's how this organization is working.
Yeah.
It's not God's Holy Spirit. It's who has the most money and who can buy their way through the ranks.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching this 3-part series. We hope that, we sincerely hope that a Jehovah's Witness will be able to see how this whole Holy Spirit doesn't work in their organization. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at watchtower.exposed, and we'll do everything we can to help you make sense of what's really going on.
And for those of the XJW community, this hopefully will help you understand a little bit about the inner workings of the organization and how things really work. And then you say, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why things happen the way they do.
Exactly. So thanks for watching, and everybody have a good day.
You have a great weekend.